So we had our introductions. Jim, thank you so much. Can everybody see it?
Mm-hmm.
I think, Jim, you might have to stop sharing.
I think I did.
Okay.
I can see yours.
Okay, you can see it. Good. All right. So we did an update. Thank you. Feedback on the water testing. Anybody have any other questions for Jorge on the testing that they're doing and what's going on? Okay. Update on our project. I said basically.
Jorge's got to get back to his kids, his closure. So
all right. Thank you. No, thank you so much. And let's see, Armando, did you want to? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining. Okay. Armando, did you want to say anything?
Thank you.
Else?
Anytime. I'll be.
Okay. I look forward to it. We do this about every other month. So thank you very much for coming on. Cool. Armando, are you out there?
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Did you want to comment on anything?
No, it's great. Everything I hear, and I'm glad that moving forward, because that's Jorge's study. That's what we needed, and I'm glad you're keeping your inventory, like Ryan said. That's very good, because we know that they don't move, they don't fall apart like some people think. So this is great. No,
right.
Happy to be here and listen to all the progress.
Right, and we're happy to have you on the call as well. I just wanted to let you know that you've got Teresa on here. She's going to be doing a 1,000 reef challenge down in the Inglewood area, trying to move forward with, again, purchases by homeowners of the reefs under the docks. Now, I know she'll have some programs to try to get as many as possible. So there might be some incentives for people to contribute to help. And I believe that Ray, you're getting ready for your install in June, and you're looking at about 70, I think you said, or?
No, we've already bought 100. And the install will be in late July or August.
No, this is Ray's area is a harbor area that is off of a channel, like Caspian Beach. So it's coming from the Gulf, and it's a nice harbor that they have. So it'll be one area with 100 reefs. That's going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right. So at least we know where that is. Looking again at ours. We've got the Westland, we talked to the West Coast Inland Navigation District, now the county environmental permitting. And we've got some different challenges. We've got some shoals, shoals that are stopping the flow of our water, and some low water. So we're trying to get different kind of work. We've got grants. We've picked up some grants. We're going to be doing, and it looks like we may have gotten one from the Sarasota Bay Estuary for the aeration system. We're going to test adding oxygen in. We have a problem. Our water is green, unlike a lot of other areas, because we're a closed-end canal, 9 miles. We have a lot of green water. So a couple of things are happening to us. We have some areas with low oxygen. We know we have to start working around the storm drains. So we're trying to do a test in one of our dead end canals where we really install a lot of mini reefs in. We're going to put 7 in from one of our grants in an area to fill about 11 or 12 mini reefs in one dead end canal where there is a drain, a storm drain. And we're going to see if we can test against other ones and look at the difference in the quality over time with that amount of filtration hopefully happening in there. Now, granted, the hard part is it takes at least a while. I would say we won't see results for a year. I mean, we'd be lucky if we see anything in 6 months, because it takes a while for the mini reef to grow. But that's one of the things we want to do. And we're also using some of the grant money to pick up our digital instrumentation. Data collection is continuing. And as I said, we added on our spreadsheet this inspection date. And our summer plans are to let our water science catch up with our installs. That's where we are right now. We've a little behind on that. So that's where we have to get action. We have also, Tim's joined our team, and we've also got the Outdoor Academy on Siesta Key. One of the teachers there does the science side, and she's very excited about bringing her students in. So we'll be starting some programs with, hopefully with Tim and with her, hopefully maybe in the summer with some of the science we're doing. So that's kind of my update. Any questions or thoughts on what we're doing? Okay. All right. And then, so going next, Ray, did you want to introduce what you're doing? You do. I'm going to
Sure.
stop sharing. You should be
Okay.
able to share now.
Okay, I'm gonna go low tech here, and here's my,
Oh,
is that visible to you
no,
guys?
bring it up to your eyes. You have to bring it up to your eyes, not push it forward. Take it back. Take it back towards your face. That a guy. Now I can see it. A hockey
Okay,
puck. Looks like a,
okay, okay, there's our harbor.
a
We've got,
big boomerang.
okay, there you go, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's our
Wow.
harbor. We, as a community, it's been kind of easy. We've got 60 docks, about 120 slips, and in these 60 docks, we'll be putting in about 100 mini reefs, 100. So we've had a fundraising. It's all voluntary with a few grants. We tried to raise $23,000. We raised about 27. So we've got extra money. The community at first was resistant, but a lot of persistence. And Phil gave a seminar here. So we've paid for the reefs. They're ready to go in. The reef rovers are coming in July 24th to do a harbor cleaning. And then as soon as we have a new seawall coming in, so that's our harbor. Okay. As soon as the seawall is in, will be released to go ahead and install the mini reefs. So that's been going along. The challenges that we face again is to buy the correct instrumentation that is tallies in with everybody else, that our citizen scientists can use. So we're not near Eckert, and I don't know if we want to interface with a local college or simply have citizen scientists operate the instruments. So there's a trade-off between expense, complexity, and citizen scientists. All right. The first inroad we made into instrumentation, rather than use, and Phil came down and showed us the GoPro, and we looked at that, but instead, because our people are fishermen, instead we did this, which is we bought a fish finder camera. All right, so it's a live. So we have a video camera that drops down 50 feet with infrared or LEDs, and the video camera, 3 or 4 inch square, straps to your wrist, so you can record live. What's underneath the dock and hit record and transfer files, etc. So rather than the GoPro, which you don't know what you're seeing right now, you see live what's going on. So we're going to start that soon. But again, I emphasize I really need help in finding out what this YSI system is. Are we in the $5,000 or $10,000 range for instruments? Does it require a laboratory, with a telescope and a microscope to calibrate?
Ray, what we'll do is why don't you put your questions down and we'll set up a time and see if we can get Ryan to get on a phone call with us and walk through that. Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
put them down.
Ryan or George sounded like Jorge sounded like he was conversant in that. So if he could communicate to me what you're doing. All right.
Well, we all want to learn it, so it's good.
Yeah. So Ray, we'll set something up to follow up then. I think that's a good set of questions. I think Teresa would be interested in that as well.
Another challenge is that we'd like to do some signage. So around our harbor, we would like to put a real quality 2-foot by 3-foot sign appreciating our donors, because there have been a couple of corporate donors and grants, as well as informing the citizenry here, because it's one closed harbor. So we have 1,000 people that live here in this community, and they can go and read. So at this point, we're inventing that sign ourselves. Okay,
good. That sounds great.
Okay. Other than that, we're ready to start. I guess as soon as we get the instrumentation squared away, we can start recording now, even though the installation won't be until late July or August.
But that's the point, Ray, is to put a baseline down before you start. So that's smart to do it. So I agree.
As soon as we get the instruments, we'll do that.
Well, first of all, let's put a call together, make sure that and get your questions ready so we can take you through, and we'll have Teresa join so she can hear as well and learn from what we're doing. All right. It'll be good for all of us, meaning not necessarily Jim, but for our area so that we get this kind of straightened out. Ryan, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I guess it was a question more so towards Jim. Jim, do you do the calibration of the instruments? Does Jorge do it? Or did you guys train the students in one of your training sessions that you had previously?
Sarah and Aspen from Moat trained the students, all of them, 4 at a time. I have 8, and 4 at a time. They trained them and went out to the docks with them and had them use the GoPro and had them do the calibration and had them, so they really did a nice job setting them up. So at this point, I think because there's no funding for them beyond this, really, we're going to have our students train our citizen scientists, as I said, sending them out on the boat. And I talked to Sarah and Aspen about that, and there might be a chance for them to do a little bit more with one once we get a group. So I think, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because if it was, I know you might have some limitations on group sizes and things like that, but if there is another group training event that you guys are planned to do, maybe there's an opportunity to invite individuals like Ray or Phil or members of this team up there. So, instead of training one person, training the next and training the next, doing a group training.
And Jim, we'll support some money if you need money for that. So it shouldn't be on your dime. It should be something we share. Okay.
And to answer your question, I think ultimately I'm going to need to get that because I'm the one person as they come in and out of here and revolve in and out. I've been doing everything else. So I think that's probably next.
That would be really great. It would be super to do something like that. So I hate to put something on you, but
Yep.
would be happy. I'd be happy to see what we can do to contribute what we need to do to make that happen. Okay.
Very good.
All right. All right. That's great. I really like that. Okay. So I want to close with what I wrote down. Jim, this is and everybody, Ryan, I just picked this part of our spreadsheet up. This is what I heard Jorge talk about was we're doing pH, dissolved oxygen. We have nitrates in there because we have to chlorophyll.
Can't
chlorophyll.
see it, Gene.
Oh, you can't.
Bring it.
Sorry. I'm not sharing it. Hold on. Let me get up. I have to get to the full screen.
Teresa, we have to talk about Rotary funding. I'm definitely going to get some this next year.
Okay.
Tracy, not Teresa. Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
Daggone it. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm getting that mixed up and I don't mean to do that. And Tracy, I have a sister named Teresa. So that's what's happening. Okay, so here we go. Can you see that now? The agenda,
Yes.
and at the bottom of the agenda, we had the pH, the dissolved oxygen, the nitrates, the chlorophyll, and then we had other tests because we didn't know if we were going to do some other tests yet. So we're putting that in. And then we want the colonization. So we put the marine life activity, the predominant fish and additional fish. But we'll be doing more colonization. That's what these particular fields are for. So those were the basic measurements that we had, that everybody's taking. Ryan, anything I'm missing there that you think we should have? Basic.
So if we're going to take one step back, just for people on this
Yes,
call
sir.
that aren't familiar, we did try to put in a larger Sea Grant proposal to try to get funding. Unfortunately, we were not encouraged. And part of the goal was to just make sure that all these groups involved were taking the similar metrics and using them in the same way. And, that would have also provided some funding for everyone's equipment. Unfortunately, they were apparently not that interested. So hopefully that effort can still continue and trying to be consistent, and meetings like this are a great way of doing that. So Gene, kind of thanks for helping organize everyone in that sense. More specific to your question then, as we have more citizen scientists doing this and taking types of measurements, potentially even at their own dock, obviously things you can take with the YSI are great, but you don't necessarily have a lot of them that go all over the place. So some of those simpler tools that look at, one, salinity. I don't see that one.
Well, we've got the salinity and the clarity on another sheet.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay.
so
was gonna
I can
say,
show that too if we're necessary, and I'll show that. We have the sucky disc readings. We've got the longitude and latitude. We have the salinity, and I think what Phil, you're there. What else am I missing?
Conductivity.
Phil, you're on mute.
My
Okay.
interest is in the colonization, so we're going to be doing that too.
Yeah, well, okay. So,
Who's
but
that?
I'll share the whole sheet. We have more on the other sheets. Okay, so I just picked up this from the actual, what we would use our instrumentation for.
You obviously have dates, right?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Sorry. The
Because
spreadsheet's about 4 pages long, so.
Okay.
I'll get-
Yeah, because that would probably be better to share with the group moving forward in terms of things that are missing, because otherwise we'll make the same mistake, and it's just missing from this particular image.
Yeah, let me get
So in
it.
terms of video monitoring, this does address the fish particularly well, but then there was also the component of what's actually on the reef and looking at things like percent cover of what's being of total recruitment, and then obviously if possible species or group specific type of things would be encouraged, but that obviously takes a lot more effort and probably a little bit more expertise, so there may be some training needed in that, but at the very least overall coverage to know when the reef has been fully recruited on, and
Okay, so just real quick,
Yeah.
because we only have a few
the reef
minutes.
itself.
There's our canal all broken up into, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the canal all broken up. So this is what we did for, and we talked about I want to get to my inventories. Okay, so we were talking about what the inventory, first of all, we start off with our reef inventory, and basically we're breaking it down by sections, how many we have, the number of homes, the numbers that are underneath. Then we go next to, here was where we added the annual inspection. So we had a date and a status, okay, of the reef. And then here was the testing date, the water condition, the tides, the clarity, the temperatures, the water temperatures. And then we get into we're getting into the actual testing cycles that we had, air temperature, water temperature, salinity, and the sucky disc reading. Okay, and I think then we got into the other thing. So I'll make sure, Ryan, I get you these sheets. You'll make sure I didn't miss anything we should have. But this is what Jim had too. We were following the same content that we were capturing. So he's sharing what he has given us.
and Jorge did add that he's doing a bottom reading and a surface reading.
Okay, I think we have something where we were doing the similar kinds of things. You gave me that. Let me just see if I've got it on this sheet here. We have air temperature, water temperature. I'll have to ask Dave, because I think he did that was one of the reasons why we had trouble with the kayaks, because trying to get a reading on the bottom, you're leaning over the kayak, and we were having a little people fall in.
And I had to exchange a 1 meter line to a probe for a 10.
Okay,
As they're reaching over the side of the boat, which has a couple feet, and then they got to get down. And so that's the one exchange I've had to
the
make.
cable, okay, the cable, get a 10 meter, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good to know. Okay, that's all I had. Jim, anything else you want to add before we close?
Just that it's interesting to hear all this. We've put together what we've called our Blue Waters Coalition, and we're trying to get an identity over at our side, just for your information. And I'll let you see some of that information. And over the summer, again, we really want to look at different ways that we can expand for the center, how we're helping with water quality. So some of what Armando was talking about is interesting to us. And we're also working with Ed Childs of the CRA in Bradenton Beach for looking at seagrass beds and other options that we can be part of.
Right. Yeah, we've done very well also with mangroves. Jorge was correct. We are seeing a lot of, not a lot, we're seeing some manatees now entering the canal and definitely going after the mangroves that are hanging over. So at least we're seeing some of that life come back to us. All right. Now, I do have a hand up from Ryan. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, there was just one thing that I forgot to mention because I didn't see it here on the spreadsheets, but I thought we had put together for all the other groups involved. One of the things that was going to be important for some of the cross-site comparisons, but could be also important for within your own respective regions, are some of the other things that would influence what's around the structures, like the shoreline type. Is it a seawall? Does it have those mangroves? Is it a dock, boat lifts? What's kind of present within some of those areas, because those are things you would ultimately control for in a larger analysis. So having a good understanding of the state of the system around each particular reef, because if you have mangroves plus a reef in one of your canals and mangroves plus a reef in another one of the canals, you know, that could have a little added effect, and it helps you understand the data.
Now, we do have that. I must not have picked up that sheet, but we do have a seawall, mangrove. We have a site view. You know,
Yep.
is it a dead end canal? There's a couple of things we captured on that. Yes.
Distance from
And also along that line, Brian,
Yes.
we're photographing all the area where the reefs are going in.
Okay.
So we got not only written down, but we also have a visual format of what's there as well.
Okay. So doing pictures, and we do video. So
Right.
we do video on some consistent basis around it, but that's exactly what we'd like to do. And when's the last time we did it? So we'll track that too. All right, video, pictures. All right, sounds good. No wonder we need a big drive. All right, guys, thank you so much for the time. Is there anybody else real quick before we go off? We got 1 minute.
Yeah,
No?
just, hey,
Yeah.
Gene, I will
Yes.
be sending to you then our request for more details on instrumentation. Exactly what are they, how much they cost, et cetera, okay? And
Okay.
by the way, our measuring will be easy because it's one harbor where we can walk off toward the end of the dock, drop a monitor in or pick up a gallon of water or something. So it's quite easy to monitor. It's just the instrumentation that is gonna be a challenge.
All right, say thank you. Phil, last
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah, Ray's situation is great because it's the rest of us are like little house in the prairie. They're scattered around. Well, he's going to have a whole little town of mini reefs there, so that's going to be an interesting phenomenon to
Right.
watch.
Yep. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for the time, and we'll get back. Thank you again. Take care.
Have a nice weekend.
All right.
Thanks all.
Thank
Thanks
you,
all.
guys.
Thank you.
Nice seeing
Bye.
everybody. Jim, Ryan.
Yep.
Phil.
Thank you.
Phil, good luck next week there at the Venice
Oh,
Yacht
yeah.
Club.
Yeah, break a leg.
I'll get you that information, Ray.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Jaden.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gene.
Take care.